Alright, good morning. As you just saw, I already started my day doing a video call with Jeff. I already mentioned this in a previous video, but Jeff is a software developer at Hyperlab who is currently involved in our startup B1. Because Jeff lives in Japan, our workdays are kind of disconnected. When I start my workday, Jeff is wrapping up his, and when I go to bed, Jeff starts brewing his morning coffee. So usually we communicate asynchronously using chat and Loom videos, but every Thursday we do a short video call in which we exchange some thoughts and catch up. Those who also saw my video of yesterday know that I've been busy trying to find and fix a bug in the Smoothie codebase until after midnight. Eventually I fixed the bug and got the pipeline service to work, but before I now merge my code, I'm going to polish up the fix a little more and add a few more tests to make sure that this bug doesn't happen again in the future. Alright, this is kind of a big moment for Smoothie as I'm about to merge this enormous pull request that contains several months of work. As you can see here, over 230 lines of code have changed, which is a lot. Personally, I don't like to work with pull requests of this size because the chances of breaking something during deployment are very high, but in this case, this was just the easiest way to approach a system-wide refactoring like this. Luckily, once this PR is merged, we can finally get back to our regular workflow of making small incremental changes to our codebase. Alright, so now that the gigantic pull request is merged, it's time for us to move on to the next task on our to-do list. Both the applications of B1 and Smoothie are architected as a system of microservices. And for those who are not familiar with the concept of microservices, basically instead of creating one big application, you create several smaller applications that are all responsible for their own separate set of tasks, but that can work together to achieve the same end goal. But in order for the microservices to be able to work together, they need a way to communicate with each other. And a popular way of facilitating this communication is using a message broker. A message broker can be seen as sort of the nervous system of the application. All the services can send messages to the message broker, and the message broker simply forwards these messages to the other services that are interested in them. Some time ago, we decided to use RabbitMQ as the message broker for our applications, but over time we have been re-evaluating this decision and are thinking about replacing RabbitMQ with Google PubSub. And the decision of this was based on two factors. First, in our current integration with RabbitMQ, there is a very nasty bug which would require a lot of effort to get to the bottom of it and solve it. But secondly, because we are only a small team at Hyperlab, we don't really want the responsibility of having to maintain a dedicated RabbitMQ installation, so we prefer to use as many managed cloud services as possible. But at this moment, there isn't really a managed offering of a RabbitMQ installation provided by any of the major cloud providers. So right now, I'm going to do a little bit of research to see how big of a task it will be to replace RabbitMQ with PubSub or Google PubSub in our applications. Okay, I spent all afternoon reading up on message brokers, RabbitMQ and Google PubSub, and by now I have a pretty good understanding of how RabbitMQ compares to Google PubSub, and I'm confident that making the switch to Google will be the better choice for us in the long run. I've also did some research on how to actually integrate Google PubSub with our existing Laravel applications. I found a few open source projects on GitHub, but most of them were either outdated or didn't really fully support our specific use case. So I already started prototyping my own solution, which of course borrows some of the ideas I found in the projects on GitHub, but puts them together in a way that neatly fits our existing code bases. I made some good progress building the Google PubSub integration. Most of the logic has been implemented, so the next step now would be to start writing some tests to assert that the prototype actually does what I expect it to do. But that will be something for another day, because it's almost 11 p.m. right now and I'm quite tired, so I'm going to call it a day. Before I go to bed, I'm going to quickly jump in the shower and relax for a bit while putting together this video. So talk to you next time.